Welcome to the Building Business Podcast, a podcast where we speak to the real people behind businesses. In each episode, we'll be having conversations with founders, leaders and entrepreneurs about the highs and lows of running businesses. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good?
This feels weird.
It does. It does. How do you like our studio?
It's nice. I was just thinking...
You've not actually clocked who's behind you on the wall.
Oh, wow.
In Mark's words, two of the greatest footballers ever, Maradona and Kevin Ratcliffe.
we could do with getting a few Societas members down, shouldn't we, and guests?
100%. I think we need to use it for that as well,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
How good would that be? Because we could put all the branding up and stuff as well.
Great stories.
There's another thing to push to the members.
Yeah. Yeah.
Add it to the to-do list.
Add it to the app.
Yes. Where's that up to?
It is being... Deepak has pushed for it to be released by the end of the month. So...
I need to catch up with him, actually. He's a member now as well, isn't he? Does he come to the races?
He's coming to the races, but he's not. He's a partner.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Let him off. Societas, then.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Societas. So we're going to chat about Societas, get loads of clips, send them to Mel for social media.
Lovely.
So why Societas?
Honestly,
Yeah.
might not be for everyone, but it's for a few select people that are finding it tough.
Yeah.
You know, they're running a business with probably a couple of good people around them, but they have to put on a front. They have to show up every day at the office,
Yeah.
be the leader, but they can't grumble because they're paying staff a wage and they want to get the best out of them. So they can't always sit in a room and be completely honest about what they're struggling with.
Yeah.
So it's not for everyone, but for those that it is people who want to be honest, vulnerable, learn.
I think the good thing is it doesn't have to be for everyone either. Like, there's
No.
people that come to the meetings and like leave, they come and go, and they contribute to the session, which is fine. It's not for them, but they're still as valuable because they add value by contributing.
Some people are just great participants.
Yeah.
You know, they can ask good questions, they've got amazing experience, but they don't have capacity or time, or it's just not something they want to get involved in. But I think that's what's nice about it, is that we've got our regular members that come every month.
Yeah.
And then we've got our guests that
I think you always need that. You need that core group, and the core group are the ones that connect, the ones that inevitably end up doing some kind of business or passing some kind of business.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's about. And then you have the additional visitors month by month that keep the conversations fresh and the interest going.
So I think we tend to attract two types of people into the room, and they're either led by the intrigue of opportunity. They want to meet new people, they want to expand the network and their ecosystem, and they want to see what doors open through connecting with the right people at the right level. And then the other side of it is the business owners who are a little bit uncertain, that they don't have all of the answers, and they don't necessarily have the people around the boardroom table that have got all of the answers either. So it's a bit of opportunity and a bit of fear and vulnerability. Yeah. But I think it answers both of those questions quite nicely.
Yeah.
If you look at Martin from Bank Digital in Trafford, this will have gone up since the last time we spoke, but he said he'd 14x'd his investment in Societas as a member.
And the thing is, it's not... Like, I always look at, if you're spending someone as business, it's got to deliver 5 times its cost to you. But I think Societas is a bit different in terms of, we wouldn't look at that as that returns that on a monetary basis. It does it on a development basis. So obviously we've got 3 or 4 members of staff who are in various groups.
Yeah.
And the development of them people having been a part of that network has 10 times.
Yeah.
By not being in the network, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? So
I was talking to someone today who was promoted family members in the business, and they've got no experience of being around a boardroom table. They've got no experience of being challenged by people that have been there and done it.
Yeah.
And it gives you that, without the pressure, but the ability to learn and question. And
we found that we had people coming back though. So we'd be the same, you know, we invite people to sit in a boardroom with us because we want to, or an SLT with us because we want to push them along that path. And they'd just sit there as passengers in that room, and we'd still be driving. Here's the ideas, here's what we're thinking, this is what we need to be doing. And then sent them people off. They suddenly start coming back from Societas, and they're sitting there and they're bringing things, and I'm going, whoa, hang on a minute.
Slow down.
But it's good, it's boss, and businesses need that.
It's good.
And I think that's kind of, so, you know, Martin's 14x his investment.
Yeah.
He's talking about monetary value there. What he's not talking about is the other benefits of it as well.
The other thing he said is for him, and we'll have to get him on, but he said he's been to that many, but there's nothing else like that out there for him. He always calls it his therapy. But the other thing that's important about it, which I think people miss when it comes to sort of whether you call it networking or being part of a community or sitting down with your peers, he's been a member for 18 months.
Yeah.
And he's not gone into a room trying to sell to anyone.
Yeah.
He's not gone into a room trying to take advantage of anyone. He's gone in and been himself, built relationships, made people laugh, opened up about his business and the challenges that they've had.
I think that vulnerability, though, makes him more appealing.
It's warming. I think it attracts people. In fact, I was out with a business this morning that had been at an event with Martin recently, and they remembered him immediately. Even referenced him as the good-looking guy. Yeah. So I'll have to pass that on to him.
You sure they had the right guy?
I know. But I think it shows that it's like it should be. It's the long game. You know, you build relationships for the right reasons. You build trust by spending time with people and getting to know their problems.
Yeah.
A lot of people go into it because they always want immediate opportunities, but people aren't always in the market for what you do.
I think that applies to like all kinds of like networking, and I hate the word networking, but like how many people go into any kind of networking environment and one meeting go, it's not for me. None of these people in this room are going to buy from me. It's not about that.
No.
It's about turn up, spend time. Listen, I've been in groups for 2 years, 3 years, and I've not had a single piece of business. And then the following month, bang, something drops.
Yeah.
And it all comes from know, like, trust, get to know people
but
on
also,
a level.
How many times have you been at an event where someone's come over to you and they've not took a second to get to know you? They just see Andy, multiple businesses.
There's a business card.
I'm going to try and sell something to you.
Yeah.
Or all they want to do is talk about themselves.
Yeah.
And that just, it completely switches me off. And that's what we've built it for the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know, we actively dissuade. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Dissuade people from.
Did we intentionally do that, or has that just happened?
It was.
I think the no sale zone was intentional.
That was intentional, yeah. But I think it's something that you have to work on. So sort of setting the tone at the start of the meeting, because for us, it's still effectively a startup, but it's a business. We're trying to grow, but that's not the priority when people are at them events, is that they have a good time, they engage, they participate. If they then become a member, amazing, but there's no pressure. So we're not even sat in the room trying to flog anything to them. It's come along, get involved, take something away from it for yourself. But I think sometimes people miss that, which we're quite fortunate we don't get many of them. And if they do, they're quite quickly
It's the quality of the
out.
room though as well. And I think obviously we're trying to target a certain demographic of business owner and a certain size business into the room because the level of conversations that we want to be having and stuff. And I think sometimes people in those situations are reluctant to go to these kind of things because they know they're going to get, or they feel they're going to get sold at.
Yeah.
I've been there myself. I'm not going to go in that room because I know I'm just going to get hammered by business cards and sold at. So the community and the culture we've created that basically doesn't allow that makes that such a more accepting and welcoming environment for them people coming in. And I think the hardest challenge for us is how do you communicate that? Do you know what I mean?
It's a
how do
branding
you?
piece, isn't it?
Honestly, it's fine. We're not going to sell to you. I bet they all say that, don't they?
Yeah. I think you need to find a way of getting it across verbally and in writing and in video. But also it's letting people feel it and experience it. Like yesterday in Leeds, there was 13 business owners in the room.
Yeah.
Family businesses doing 6 million a year. A second family business that had exited and is now running a multi-million-pound a year software business, to a digital marketing agency based in the city centre. You know, everyone's still just finding the way, whether they've been running 50 years or 5 years.
The challenges are no different, are they?
No, and what's interesting is you've got logistics, software, food manufacturing, a law firm, but a lot of the challenges are similar.
Yeah.
It's just that they show themselves in different ways and they're resolved in different ways dependent on, you know, the setup.
Yeah.
And the people in
the
place.
way that you approach them is the same, though.
Mm.
It's just obviously the actual context of what you're dealing with is different. So what was your motivation to start Societas? What was the trigger point that made you think, do you know what, I want to do something?
There's a few things. So first and foremost, I'd had the idea, and I was toying with it and thinking about it. And I didn't feel at the time like I was in a position to run with it for a few different reasons, but it just didn't feel like the right time. And then I was made redundant. And it was that feeling of I've spent my career helping other businesses grow, whether it's making them money or grow teams or bringing them in new clients, whatever that might look like. And then when that's gone, it's like, what am I doing for myself? So then I went out and started networking, and I had that experience that everybody has where no one wants to get to know you. There were some lovely people, but they weren't necessarily the right people in the room, or they weren't connected with the right people that I want for my career, and also that my network needs from me as well. So I approached you and said, I've got an idea, and I think it's something that we've been refining. We'll keep refining, but I don't think you have to manufacture too much when you put the right people in the room. So, for me to sort of bring it to a close, personally, I've always been the person bringing people together. So, like if it's my family and friends, like a lot of them will refer to me as that sort of person that like people won't have seen each other for ages, and I'm like, right, everyone needs to get back in the room together. And then there was a little bit of fear around AI. That I work in sales, I always have done, and that's got its positives and opportunities, but it could also take away. And I think there's an element of you can't take away from being sat in a room with someone, looking them in the eye, shaking the hand, and just getting to know them. So it was a combination of opportunity coming up through the redundancy, having someone to support me in that because I probably would have bottled it. And being really passionate about personal and professional development, and that's who we tend to attract.
I think like going back on the point of like over manufacturing as well. I think over 2 years it's refined in terms of its offering. Has it changed? Not massively, but it's been tweaked here and there, changed slightly because it's naturally found its rhythm. And I think we're now at a point where we're very, very clear on that is it, and that is exactly how we deliver it. It's proven it works. People are committed to it. People stay long term, so it clearly delivers value.
I think what we've also found is who's the right fit or not the right fit. I think the people that come and fit, they need to be selfless. Like they need to want to learn about other people and learn from other people, rather than just be out for number one. It is really an environment of all around the table giving to each other, but you also receive when you do that. And I think, I don't know about yourself, but the friendships I've made as well, just off starting this and having those people in the room.
I think it's because of the vulnerability in the room though. Like once you start to have them connections and you realise, you know what, like you've been where I am or I've been where you are, it connects you on a different level as well. And it's a different connection to that you'd have with your mates in a pub. Do you know what I mean? It's a connection where you're like, I know what you're going through. And like you say, it's therapy. Let's just sit around a table and cry for an hour. In a really nice way.
We've been close to tears, haven't we? But not quite there. I think the trust thing comes in though, and I'm not going to butcher the research, but there's a lot of statistics, and I think is it the 7-11-3 or something like that from Google, and I won't butcher it, but it's about the amount of time that you spend with people to build that trust. You need to spend time with people in different mediums for different amounts of time to build that trust. So when we're sitting around a table and someone's opening up and being vulnerable, you're really warm to someone.
Yeah.
But then when they've got you in stitches because you're clay pigeon shooting and
Yeah.
they can't hit a shot, but they're still having a good time, it's just putting people in different environments that gives them the opportunity to take a step back from the business, and build those relationships. But we had a really nice point yesterday with a lady had stayed behind after the session, and she was just like, I'm learning so much from coming along, but I never get the chance to think of any of this when I'm in the business. And it's because you're in the business, you're reacting.
You need that headspace.
You've got so many things that demand your attention, so many people that demand your attention, and you know what you know. So until you put in an environment that can challenge you, it's never going to stretch you as much as it could be.
Maybe there's an opportunity for us to do some like self-reflection on the back of sessions as well. I know we kind of do a bit of like pre-work, don't we? But maybe there's something we can build into the process there. It says after today's session, can you do some reflection on it? Because those insights, again, are massive for us in terms of driving the delivery.
I think what would be, when the app's live, we'll be able to gather that data nice and quickly. But also looking at something in terms of group sessions and accountability sessions, even if it's just, people are busy, they've not got, they can't come out of the business every day of the week, but for half an hour to jump on a call and go, do you know what, I took this away. Like the amount of people say, I'm going to go and implement this in the business, or I'm going to go and read this book. What have you done? Have you done it, or was it a nice?
I've done that before, where I was in a group and basically at the start, it was like a year thing. So at the start of the year, we all committed something we were going to do this year, and then at the end of the year, none of us have done it.
No. It's the accountability. It's like your PT,
you've got to have that
it?
bit in the middle, haven't you? Yeah, I've got it with my PT at the moment. He's giving me big time. But I've been in 3 days this week, so...
If you've not got to check in with him and you've not got to see him, it's easy to say, I'm not going to do it.
They're not seeing me on the scales.
Whereas you've got to weigh in, send a photo. You're like, I won't have those...
accountability. And it applies to business as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, 3 groups currently?
Yeah. Liverpool, Knutsford and Leeds.
Yeah.
So... Knutsford was the first in May 2024.
That's crazy how quick that's gone, isn't it?
Liverpool was July last year, and Leeds October last year. But it's crazy the momentum that we've built just over the past few months. Going into June with all the events fully booked. Booking for July, I imagine we'll hit the end of June, booked up to September with the social. We're 50 plus people. So it takes its time.
It does. I think anything with legacy, anything that you want to be long term, it does take time to build, doesn't it? I don't think there's no such thing as an overnight success, is there? No. And the time taken has allowed us to refine the offering. And I think, like I said before, I think it's got to a point now where we're at that sweet spot now where we know what value we're delivering, we know what that value's worth, and we know how to deliver it. And it's working. It's working very well.
It is.
What's your dream? What's the goal?
The goal, the dream I'll start with, would to be to grow the locations. Predominantly in the north, but there's nothing to say why we couldn't have locations down south. And I know we've joked about Dubai, but actually we've got a lot of contacts in that area, which could work. I
fancy that as like my semi-retirement.
Yeah, so give us a few years. But no, it would be to grow out the existing members and network, just to build a community of a real ecosystem that people can lean on each other. Personally, so I can run a business full time for myself, and to then give those opportunities back. So, if we could grow something where we can bring other people in and give other people opportunities, and that's not just within the business of Societas, but the people that come to the events. What they take away and then go and implement in their business, it spreads. Yeah, positivity.
Definitely, and obviously the app. So 2 years in. We've got an app coming out.
We have launching end of the month.
What's our app going to do?
So it's going to be designed initially in phase 1 is for people to book on easily through the app in advance of the sessions, see who's coming along so they can know if there's anyone specifically that they'd like to say hi to. And then off the back of these...
And also connect before the sessions as well.
Yeah, connect before, because you could jump on someone's LinkedIn profile and see what they've been up to,
Yeah.
and there might be something there that you've got in common that's worth discussing. And then from there, being able to follow up with people nice and easily. I would say one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of, not just business owners, but people that go out networking, peer communities, trying to expand the network, they'll take a few business cards and very rarely follow up.
Yeah.
Like really.
But I was struggling with like the follow up. You end up with like a dozen meetings in your diary, and then you're like, oh. But it, like you say, what's the point in going and meeting people if you're not going to connect with them afterwards? And you never know what a conversation can lead to.
No, I think some of the opportunities that have come that would have never expected. I think one of the guys that came along to one of the first sessions that we ran met somebody who introduced him to a COO who'd grown a business from 5 million to 200 million. He's now started in his business. And that's just from actually follow up and having a coffee. Now, you're never guaranteed to be able to help each other, or that there's an immediate opportunity for each other, but, a 20-minute Teams call or a half an hour coffee if they're nearby. If you're going out to meet people and you're not going to reach out and see where those opportunities take you, you might as well stay in the office.
Yeah, and it's 100% worth a conversation. I was saying before, someone I know, their sales team, he was telling me, never go out. It's got a sales team that do all the sales from the desk. And I was like, how? That's just lazy if you ask me. But, you've got, it's the power of connection, isn't it? It's the power of sitting in the room with people. And
I think it's trust. Like the cold outbound, whether that's email, phone, LinkedIn, whatever it is, it works to a point, but
it only gets you so far though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it only builds so much trust, and to be honest, you're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone's in the market for your product or service, but they've sat down with you for 5 lunches, they've been out for a day out at the races with you, and then they need a digital marketing agency, or they've got a family law issue that comes up.
There's something that comes up, and instantly you've got to be, how are you at the forefront of their mind? I know someone.
I think one of the other things is the amount of people that, they come for personal and professional development. Some people will come because they want to expand their network for their own opportunities. Yeah. But a lot of people, they just want to know the right people for their own immediate network, because the amount of times when people are talking in business and they can see a friend or a colleague that's struggling with something, if you can make that introduction that makes their life easier, amazing. Like I've done it this morning for a company that are growing, looking for investment. And I've introduced them to someone that I know is a perfect fit for them, exactly what they need. And that's just from going out, meeting people, building trust.
You build your own black book, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just an ever-growing black book, but it's good. So what would you say to people who have never heard of Societas and this is the first time they're hearing of it? How are we getting them in the room?
First and foremost, like I said before, if you've not heard of Societas before, it might not be for you. But if you're running a business, if you've got a team that you're leading, and you're maybe questioning where the right opportunities are coming from, or you're maybe questioning yourself or even your senior leadership team, and that doesn't have to be a negative thing. It might just be you're worried that you don't have all the answers.
You don't know what you don't know, do you?
You're worried that, or concerned that your team don't have the right tools to do the job. If you're sat in the office or lay in bed at night having those what if conversations with yourself, come along and ask the questions and find out. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you'll have a nice lunch, meet a few really decent people, and then you can go on your merry way.
Yeah.
There's nothing to lose.
I love that. It's good. Thanks for listening to the Building Business Podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe and share it with someone else who you think might enjoy it too.